Hey guys, Holly here. I'm gonna take you through my all machine gym leg day. I now own a private gym here in Miami, and we have barbells, dumbbells, a functional trainer machine, but I don't have all of these like specialty machines. So I love to go to the gym still at least one time a week so that way I can get in my machines. Okay, machines are actually great for hypertrophy, for building the muscle, because it takes a lot of the required stability out of movement. So your core and your glute medius and all those little stabilizer muscles aren't as needed to stabilize like a free barbell or free dumbbells because you're locked in, right? So that way you can work the prime mover instead of having to just be working on the stability. Of course, we want strong core and strong stabilizers too, but it's good to work on, both. So that's why I do both. There's no one right way or wrong way when it comes to lifting. So definitely know that. And since I feel like I'm locked in, I feel a little bit safer, I guess, moving heavy weight. So I can push a lot more weight in a leg press than I can for a barbell squat. I can go to failure a little bit easier because I'm not going to like drop the bar. So I've really been loving the leg press. You can see it in my face. Like, I am not okay. I am going until I feel the burn, until like my mind does not want me to keep going. No, but I can do it. I can push. And that's really where you're going to start to see change in the muscle. So I'm showing you all 3 sets of the leg press. Every single time I hop back in this chair, I go a little heavier. I push myself a little bit more, and I do close to as many reps as I can. So the first couple, I think I got like 15. This one, I just struggled to get, I don't even remember how many. I guess we'll find out. But I don't want you to get so stuck on the number. Find a weight that challenges you, and by the end of it, that is hardly moving. You're keeping your form, you're keeping your core tight, you're maintaining your posture, but since you're getting close to muscle failure, it just really stops moving. And once I started doing that, like, game over. I'm seeing more and more muscle development. I wanted to do the hip thrust machine next, but it was taken. So here we are. We're at the leg curl machine to isolate the hamstrings. See how I kind of like wiggle my butt back? I make sure my posture is right and my shoulder blades are squeezing together. I find my core locked and loaded, you guys. And then I imagine what muscle is doing the work. My hamstring. So I picture that muscle shortening. I imagine pulling my heels in as far as I can towards my butt and try not to like be moving all over the seat, stay solid, so just that muscle can work until failure. So I've been loving this machine. You can see how the weight is starting to slow down. I'm starting to have to say prayers out there. That's kind of how you want to be at the end of it. So again, don't get so hyped up, focused on the number, but do track your weights, because if you're tracking your weights, it's going to ensure that you're progressing. It's going to ensure that little by little, every single week, you're able to do 1% better. So I'm looking at my weights. I'm seeing, okay, Holly, what weight did I do last time? How many reps? Can I go up in weight? Question number 1, can I go up in weight? Even if I get less reps, I know that that's okay. I'm progressing by adding weight. If not, then okay, can I add in a rep or two? And sometimes you can't, and that is totally fine. Sometimes it's just about making the movement, the exercise, the weight move better than it did last week. You can always do better on your form and your technique. So always just go through that little checklist in your head. Is my body where I think it is? Am I working the muscle that I think I am? Or am I compensating all over the place? Because sometimes, our ego gets into it and we're actually lifting a little bit too much. especially because we're different every day. Like at different phases of my cycle, I can't push the same weight, and that's okay, but I'm tracking my weights so I can see, like, okay, well, it's fine. I've done this before. I'm going to get back to that, you know? All right, fam. So now we're moving on to the leg extension machine. So this is for our quads. I am a glute girly. I love to work the glutes because that's what I struggle with the most. I know a lot of us do. If you're with me, raise your hand. But we gotta not neglect the quads. We still want to be balanced and everything like that. So you see, I lock myself in. I make sure that everything is where it needs to be, and then I just push. I just get real serious with myself, and I say, all right, Holly, to be great, you have to push yourself through pain. And that's why I think women are really good weightlifters, because we can push ourselves through pain. I am not here for the frail workouts. I am not here to let my mind win. I am here to push past my limits. And I think that's why I love weightlifting so much, because you seriously get to do that. You seriously get to push past your limits and show yourself every single day how great you can be. It's so good for the mind and the mental health, because it really does just give you that boost of confidence that carries into every area of your life. The hip thrust is a must. The hip thrust is a must if you are a girly who struggles to grow your glutes. I've been doing this movement for 2 to 3 times a week for years now, and I still continue to reap the rewards. My glutes are loving it. You'll get better and better every time. So even though I'm on this machine that's kind of slanted, I'm still digging my heels in and pulling my toes up. That helps direct the force to the back of the leg up into the glute. Then I have my feet about hip width apart, not too wide, not too narrow. My knees are pushing wide. And then I want to make sure that I get full hip extension. So this weight is killing me, but the reps only count if my hips are all the way at the top for the full version, the whole entire hip thrust. You might be able to see it a little bit more from this angle, how I push myself to my limit. I try to get the full range of motion, like my hips are sinking as low as they possibly can, and then I push my hips up. I try not to get my whole back involved, so I imagine hinging my hips from like my rib cage down. So I try to keep a little bit of a crunch. I try to keep my chin tucked and looking down. That way I can even see if it's a good rep. I'm trying to go, okay, hips all the way up, and then I zip in my core at the top. So it's like my hips are tucking under, my pelvis is tilting towards my face, and I'm able to get that little bit of my core activation at the top. So also notice the struggle at the end. I almost didn't get that last one, and yeah, it was painful. So if you want to be great, if you struggle to put on muscle like me, you might have to push yourself a little bit harder. Last but not least, we have the old hip abduction machine. So I do this 2 ways. First, I lean forward and I do as many reps as possible. AMRAP. I try to keep it controlled. I'm not like moving all over the place in the seat. I try to keep solid. So leaning forward, I'm tilting my butt back, rolling my shoulder blades together, keeping my core tight. You notice how I say that over and over again. Your posture matters. Then I try to almost like linger for a second at the end and then control it back. Okay, so I did AMRAP. Now I'm leaning back right away. I haven't rested yet. And then I do as many as I can leaning backward, just to kind of burn it out. You don't need to do this, honestly, to progress, but it's just a habit of mine to know, okay, I am pushing myself to the brink of exertion, and I've been seeing amazing, like, glute medius, upper booty gains with it. Thank you for working out with me. If you like this type of video, if it's helpful with the instruction, go ahead, like and subscribe it, and let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time.